Hey folks, here. Welcome back to another Masters video, and tonight we do have the Morty and Fantina banner dropping, right, if I remember correctly. So the Morty and Fantina banner, just like most of the other reruns, right, they're giving us, one 6-star EX. Well, I wouldn't say most of the other ones, it's only like one other one. Actually, wait, none of them have done this yet before. But, in terms of the formats, same as the ones that we've been getting this month, right? 3 daily discounts, and then we get extra potential tickets if you pull them, right? So that's cool and all, right? And for this one especially, we do have some changes to the units on the banners. For him, Fantina is getting a synchro expansion, and Morty is getting a 6-star EX. So both are again, getting much better, which is very interesting. So let's talk about this. So we'll just go over the units first, and we'll also talk about some synchro builds for Morty. Now that Morty does have a 6-star EX, right? Obviously, you do want to kind of change the grid around that a bit to make it more efficient, right? So, anyways, let's first talk about Fantina first. So Fantina had the bigger change over there, even though Morty's change is also pretty significant as well. Not that a lot of people could afford it. But for those who do, it changes the playstyle quite a bit, in my opinion. So, anyways, let's go over Fantina. Fantina at base, right? It's a pretty standard striker, right? Nothing too interesting, right? It's pretty standard. You got Backfire 2, sharply lowers attack and special attack of all opposing sync pairs just for the user feints. By the way, it is a striker, special striker, Ghost, Weak to Dark. And then you got Bulk Buster 4, which is very nice, right? It's a really nice passive. The more HP the target has, the more it powers up moves. And then as for its stats, it has I don't know, like its stats are kind of weird. Like its HP is really bad. Its HP is pretty bad. The defenses are like special defense is fantastic for striker. Defense is okay, and special attack is good, right? And then good speed as well. So overall, everything's really nice except for HP, which again does kind of make up for it with the special defense, but also striker, not the biggest deal in the world. All right, moving on to the moveset. Got Omnis Wind. It's an Omni chance for a 10% chance to Omni boost Ghost special. Relatively low power, 2 gauge, single target, right? 100% accuracy. And then you got X special attack, which is X special attack, and Shadow Ball, which is the equivalent of, almost the equivalent of Psychic, Bug Balls, all that stuff, right? 99 base power with, this is a 20% chance to lower the opponent's special defense, 100% accuracy, 3 gauge single target, and then you got the trainer move Dance With Me, which increases uses move gauge by 3, and then raises the crit as well. So overall, you got some really good stuff. You get what, +4 special attack and +2 crit offensively, right? And then again, just really fantastic moves. And then you got multiplier with Bulk Buster here. Even though it looks boring, as a lot of people do like to talk about it, it's a really solid striker overall, right? So as for the Synchro, which made it much better, right? It has a lot of really great stuff on here. First of all, I got Critical Strike 2, which is, Critical Strike is just such a great damage boosting passive. It's among the best out there, just because it not only buffs move damage, also buffs sync move damage, which a lot of other multipliers don't really do, right? Stuff like Power Flux, stuff like any of the the ramming speeds, the whatever, right? Those type of move overpowers, those only buff your moves. And then there's the other, the sync move version, right? They separate those into moves and sync move versions. And then the same, with weathers, right, as well. This Critical Strike is just, it buffs both, right? Both your regular moves and your sync move, which is really nice. As for some other great stuff that you got over here, I got Power Flux 5, which is nice as well, because good speed. You also get move gauge, regen on your trainer move as well, all that stuff. Among other things, got double on a roll for a Shadow Ball, so really great chance to lower the opponent's special defense if you want to, right, with these. And then 2 Shadow Ball move gauge refreshes, which is fantastic as well. Critical Will is, it's, I really would love to pick it up if we had much more energy. It's just not feasible with the energy you get, but like it would be a really really great passive. It was like on like a tank or something. Let's see, kill trip twos, whatever. Sync move nodes, which is nice. You got also down here swag bag for ominous wind if you want to do that. So overall, very very good. The grid, like it just has like really solid multipliers, right? It only has two. In terms of major ones, right? Only two, but both of these are very very good. Powerflux 5, like at max, what is that? 30%, right? that's fantastic if you have Powerflux at max. And then over here again, crit strike 2, and then on top of that you also got bulk buster. Like this thing has so many multipliers. It's a great, right? So Fantina got much better, right? I would say probably is overall the best ghost type striker that we have. In general, it just does so much damage. So there's that, right? Speaking of ghost type strikers, I'll talk about Morty now. Morty is more of a complicated striker, right? Morty has I feel, much different role than most strikers in the game. Honestly, is Morty excels more so in co-op. Morty is a fantastic co-op striker. However, in single player, I don't think Morty is as good. It's fine. It's just not fantastic, right? So as for what Morty has, you got stuff like Shook 2, sharply raises user's speed when the user's HP drops to half or below for this time in battle. That's nice, I guess. Last word, which is actually really really great on Morty because really good physical attack stat, and you also get attack buffs as well, crit buffs. So your last word actually does a lot of damage, Morty's. Benefactor, transfer the sync pair stat increases to the sync pair that will switch in when this sync pair switches out. So this is the co-op. This is the co-op skill, right? This is so good for co-op, right? It's much better than Eevee for co-op. Like Eevee's big thing is, you use your sync move, you buff every stat, then you swap it out, Benefactor to some other Pokemon, which is nice, but first of all, you need to get your sync move up, and in co-op it's much slower to get your sync move than in single player, for one, and also it doesn't buff crit. Morty buffs crit. So anyways, going through some other stuff with ghost type, physical striker, electric weakness. It's a physical striker, but it does have a special move. As for the stats, fantastic. Like its stats are really really good. Like these stats are like amazing, right? Really really great HP, really good attack. Defense aren't the greatest, I guess. But again, you make up for the really good HP over there, and also Phantom Force, which lets you just complete a dodge move every now and then you get a 300 speed, which is great as well. As for the moves, you got Shadow Ball as well, Dire Hit Plus, Phantom Force. This one, it's a 2-turn move. And here's where some of Morty's limitations come in when we're talking about single player, right? The really annoying thing about Phantom Force, it's a 2-turn move. However, it only decreases your sync move countdown by 1. So you're essentially just delaying your sync move for what is basically an 80 base power move, right? Because it's 2 turns, 1 turn 80 base power, second turn another 80, then add that up, 160, right? So it doesn't do that much damage in terms of power. Like Shadow Ball does more, right? However, the thing with Shadow Ball is you have less special attack than your physical attack, right? If you compare it to Mismagius, like you can't compare it to Mismagius. Mismagius just does so much more, right? Like Phantom Force does have that slight unfortunate thing about it, right? Which further sucks because EX, 6-star EX Morty's thing is it's an AOE sync move, right? Which it boosts your sync move capabilities, and Phantom Force makes your sync move much slower. Obviously, the upsides to Phantom Force, it's not like there's no upsides to Phantom Force, right? Phantom Force, you get to dodge a move completely, right? If you time it right, if you know when your opponent's about to use an AOE move, you boom, Phantom Force right before that, they completely just miss you, and then you just take no damage at all, which is fantastic. And the other thing about Phantom Force, it's a quick move. Zero move gauge is needed, and Morty's Synchro has a lot of MP refreshes for Phantom Force, so it's very, very hard to run out of Phantom Forces. So overall, bit of a mixed bag in terms of this move, right? Moving on, Pierce the Veil sharply raises user's attacks, substantially raises user's attack if the user is affected by a status condition, raises your special attack and evasion, sharply raises them if you're status, right? The chance of Morty getting status is very, very low. That's the thing, right? It's very hard to status thing unless you face some like stage like the Halloween Full Force Battle that's out right now, Gengar the Poison Gas. That is an AOE status condition that you could get hit by those, right? But generally, you don't get hit by those, right? So, yeah, as for some other stuff, no additional effect on the sync move, pretty standard, 250 non-Mega Striker sync move, right? It is physical, so that is something to keep in mind, right? So, Morty's Synchrid, Morty has I would say Morty's Synchrid is pretty solid, right? Let's see if I could find it. There it is. Same with Mismagius, got these 4 sync move power-up nodes, which is nice. On top of Blind Spot, which is a sync nuke, a node, right? More evasion is raised, more powers up sync moves, which is really, really good for 6-star EX Morty, right? However, the downside is, again, the Phantom Force thing, 2 turns, but you're not completely out of hope because you could build around Shadow Ball, right? You could definitely build around Shadow Ball. I think it wasn't as great before to build around Shadow Ball, before 6-star EX Morty came out. But now that 6-star EX Morty is a thing, this is actually a pretty viable build to go if you are 6-star EXing your Morty, which again, not a lot of people will be able to do, right? Because of how expensive it is, straight up, right? As for some other stuff, Gritty 5, it's a very, very high buff, stat buff, or damage buff, right? However, very hard to achieve. Again, special condition in this Halloween Full Force Battle, they have an AoE Poison Gas user. So if you ever want to use any gritty builds, right, this is time to use it. There's some other stuff, Match Rank 2, it's something, I guess. Shifty Striker, that helps with your blind spot, right? Phantom Force MP Refresh 3, Phantom Force MP Refresh 3, so you got 2 MP Refresh 3s. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I said if you are running Phantom Force, it is relatively hard to run out of Phantom Force just because there's so many MP refreshes, right? Pressure Cooker 9 is kind of whatever. Pierce the Veil, MP Refresh, these are pretty standard. Stamina, Special Reserve, not that great. Powerflux 3, which is nice, right? Powerflux 3 is always nice, especially on Morty, because Morty does have that low cost, right? In terms of the move gauge, because Phantom Force costs no gauges. Which makes Morty a fantastic secondary striker, right? If you run, if you're running double striker, it's a very, very good comp, because again, Morty doesn't really need any move gauges to function, so that's fantastic. So anyways, yeah, before we go, let's get a bonus Synchrid build in here, because I want to make a whole separate video just for the 6-star EX specific Morty Synchrid build, right? So there's 2 I could go for that I've been thinking about. One is in single player, one is in co-op, right? And in both cases, I'd say it's probably better just to try to Shadow Ball it. Although in co-op you could do Phantom Force. I mean, in single player you could do Phantom Force as well. It's just not as efficient because you're delaying your sync move damage, which again, the dude's sync move damage is a lot, right? Especially if it's an AoE sync move. So let's talk about co-op first, because Morty is more of a co-op, unit, right? So first of all, you want to pick up Shadow Ball, move gauge refresh. Pick up Blind Spot for your sync nuke thing. Pick up Shifty Strikers to give yourself evasion, because remember, in co-op, ain't no one's gonna support you. Just pick up that yourself. Speaking of no one supporting you, picking up your own buffs. Pierce the Veil, MP Refresh for more special attack buffs and physical attack buffs there as well. As for some other stuff, you probably want to come down, pick up the sync as well, and then maybe over here, right? So you get 2 sync move power-ups. Actually, which one's, I think the one up there is cheaper, actually. Yeah, this one's slightly cheaper. And, yeah, you get a 5 extra wherever you want to spend that, right? So yeah, this is something you could potentially go for, maybe, some Shadow Ball power-ups. If you're again going with co-op, no one supporting you, Shifty Striker to increase your evasion for Blind Spot, right? Since you already get +2 from Pierce the Veil, if you get 1 MP refresh, that's like +3, and then hopefully you get another 3 from Shifty Striker. Again, chances aren't that great, only 20%, but you get as much as possible, right? Since it's really, really slow to get your sync move anyways in co-op, but you get a decent amount of tries to roll that, right? Blind Spot, obviously, to increase that. Then Sync Move power-ups to make your AoE Sync Move even more powerful to hopefully wipe out the whole opponent once you use it, right? So yeah, that's for co-op. Let's talk about single player. Single player, when you could bring supports, is much better, right? You can bring evasion support, bring a attack / speed support, something like a Hilbert, right? Gives you both speed and attack. That would be nice, so you don't have to pick up a move gauge refresh for Shadow Ball or whatever. So in this case, again, still need to pick up Blind Spot, right? You don't have to pick up Shifty Striker because, again, you're bringing a Misty. You could give yourself evasion, right? So you could go for that. You could come in, pick up all the sync nodes, go down here, and then go up there, and then you get all 4 sync nodes plus Blind Spot, and then you also get Mystic Shear, Phantom Force. Actually, let's see. No, we can't pick up Power Flux. It'll be too expensive. But it's fine. It's fine, right? You're mainly banking on your AoE sync move damage to do damage, and not so much your Shadow Ball or Phantom Force, right? That's your main source of damage is going to be coming from the fact that you have an AoE sync nuke, right? Which is really powerful. So anyways, in terms of the banner, as usual, there really isn't much to summon on. Both of these, I'd say more so Mismagius. Mismagius is a fantastic striker now. But I assume a lot of you guys already have it. She's been out for a while. Not the longest time, not like Elisa long. Or whatever, but she's been out pretty long, right? And if you guys don't, she's still in general pool. You'll get her eventually. I'd expect some, I'd expect some more big stuff down the line, right? Sometime soon. So I probably wouldn't go for that. If there's nothing coming anytime soon, then there's still the Halloween banners you go on, which are limited, and Singsu Blue, which is Poke Fair, and again, fantastic unit there as well, right? I just think there's more options if you want to spend dailies on these, because those power-ups are very, very, very enticing, right? It's really great to get some of those, but again, I wouldn't just invest completely into this banner. As usual, just do daily discounts, should be fine. And if you are actually going to invest gems into any of these banners, the other 3 at the moment are just better in my opinion, right? But yeah, anyways, great stuff still. Personally can't wait to use the upgraded version of Mismagius. Should be really, really nice to use, right? So look forward to that, I guess, coming out sometime tonight. So yeah, that's good. So anyways, that's what this one. Hope you guys enjoyed. My guys, think in the comments down below. Like and enjoyed this video, subscribe and channel some more Masters content. I'll see you guys in the next one.